Hello and welcome to another Africam show. Very excited to be here today, and hopefully the animals are all going to play along. My name is Taylor McCurdy and I'm going to be your host for the next 45 minutes. So get ready for this action-packed live safari. For those of you that have just joined for the first time, a big welcome to all of you. It's great to have you. You are welcome to ask me as many questions as you like, or you can chat to the other chatters. But we always do this in the beginning. If you are new, let me set the scene. You're going to tell me where you're from and what are you eating and drinking right now. I'll start off. I've got absolutely nothing. I don't even have water in my anything. Not in a cup, not in a bottle. I'm going to dehydrate as we do this, but it's going to be all worth it because we've got Impala lambs. Look at how tiny they are. Okay, we got the first one up. Jean Gale, hello, hello. You said that you are here with coffee. That's good. And you're ready to learn. Oh, gosh. Don't put too much pressure on me. And then, Monica, you said a good morning from snow-covered Montana. My goodness, it's like 38 degrees Celsius where I am, which is probably close to or just over 100 Fahrenheit. Crazy, right? And then Casper's Third Ghost, hello, hello. Good to have you. Lots of you said you're ready to look at all the babies and you've got your usual coffee. Bowl of kittens. Hello, you're here too. Oh, sorry, I'm just having a quick look at that jacana. There's a bird walking behind the rather pregnant Impala ewe on the right, and then it's walking behind her now. That's nice to see a jacana. Normally a bird we associate with water, but if there's long grass around near the water's edge, why not venture out and make the most of the insects that are going to be around the dung? Lots of elephant dung. If I'm not mistaken, we are currently at Tembe Elephant Park. Looks like it. Nice and tropical with the palms, and then, of course, all the jacanas. And Nyala, this is the usual spot that they like to hang out. Zygote, you said dinner tonight is, I don't even know how to say this. Kichidi Bundi Raita. I'm so sorry if I butchered that it sounds delicious and very exciting. Oh, and then I'm just getting some more information from Kirsten, who's directing. Kirst says that this Impala that's sort of sitting closest to us with its back towards us has got very floppy ears. That's so interesting. Obviously quite strange to see floppy ears on an Impala, but every now and then these genetic defects do happen. I wonder if anyone has seen the mom. Does mom also have floppy ears? Or is it just some strange anomaly that has unfortunately blessed this little Impala lamb with? You never quite know. Just got to go through a few more of the comments coming through. Mr. HUAE87, you said it's your birthday tomorrow. I'm going to sing happy birthday for you right at the end of the show. And then April Owl, you said good morning from Connecticut, and you've got your cherry iced tea. That always sounds so nice, cherry iced tea. Is it homemade? Is it pre-bought? Tell us more, April Owl. Anyways, back to the wildlife. I'll still read the comments and questions, which I'm sure will come in shortly. So I don't think I've ever seen an Impala with floppy ears before, and I wonder how that's going to affect it as it grows up. I mean, hearing is one of the most important things, and when you're an antelope, you do have fairly large ears that point upwards so that you're able to move them in different directions independently of one another and hear different sounds. But if your ears are floppy, I don't know much how well you're going to be able to hear. So it could potentially put it in a bit of danger. Luckily for this young Impala lamb, though, is that they live in herds, right? So at least it can just go off another Impala snorting or body language, just basically see what everybody else is doing. If it was a solitary antelope species, I'd be a bit on the worried side. You'd have to be quite vigilant, more so than ever. Oh, okay. And then last Thursday, a conversation was had about this Impala with a floppy ear. So I'm just going to read the update from Tris Vissop, our local vet. And this is the information that Tris has given. I'm going to read it to all of you. Regarding the floppy-eared baby Impala, I would say most likely it was due to insect bites. The ears got swollen, heavier, and painful, and later infected from scratching. In recent years, some lambs with floppy ears developed abscesses around the head and neck region and were rejected by their mothers. Gosh, okay, well, let's hope that that's not the case at all. It would be really good if the impala does come closer, and we can, because the camera zoomed in quite a bit now, and we can have a look at those ears. My feed is quite pixelated, so it's difficult to see a lot of the detail that's going on. I can't even see if the ears are particularly swollen, so I know exactly what Triss is thinking of, because you see it in domestic animals. I've seen it in dogs. Biting flies are horrific. They really aren't great. Oh, Zygote, you said that I did an excellent job and that in pronouncing the food and from a non-Indian. Well, thank you very much. I'm going to have to go back and read it properly, and I'm going to surprise you. So I'll need to just learn how to say that phonetically, though. But thank you very much. What a wonderful compliment on a Tuesday afternoon. I will make a Facebook status about that. Thank you, Zygote. Let everybody know. Just teasing, of course. So it'll be great to see how this impala does develop. Whether or not mom has rejected it, I'm not certain. Only time will really tell. There's a couple of impalas sitting on their own, but this is quite normal to see. They form like a little creche, while some of the others hang around. And the mothers can just be in a bit of peace and quiet, just enjoy themselves feeding without being head-butted all the time by the youngsters constantly wanting milk. The oxpeckers, look how big they are in comparison to the lambs. Just gives you an indication of how small those antelope are when they're born. And it'll just take them some time to get used to it as well. But within no time, they'll be paying no attention to the oxpeckers at all. Okie dokie. So, just speaking of this impala and sort of the situation that it's in, we're going to watch a clip now and just see how it is progressing. Okay. So this is a much closer view. This is really interesting. I'm just trying to see if there's an abnormal amount of swelling. It's also going to be difficult because you normally see obviously their ears in an upright position. No problem though with grooming a fellow impala lamb. It does look like there's some kind of there's swelling sort of at the base of the ears. Do you see that? And then I wonder, with this lamb being so young, would the insect bites have affected it this quickly, or is it something else? Is it another underlying? I'm trying to think if I've seen any antelope with floppy ears before, and I can't think of it. So this is fascinating to see. One thing we'll start to notice, though, is if the condition of this lamb gets worse and worse. I mean, it looks quite healthy for the meantime. It's really hot at the moment, so they are going to look a bit flat and run down. But you know what it's like in the heat. Nobody looks their best, perhaps unless you're at the beach or in a swimming pool, right? When you're cooling yourself down. But for the most part, we don't look particularly great. It seems to be older than the lamb on the left. You can just see by the thickness of its joints and its legs and the height difference, of course. Isn't that amazing? At such an early age, they start looking after one another. Constantly practicing that grooming. You scratch my back and I scratch yours. And maybe that's what this floppy-eared impala needs. Some extra help around the ears. As you can see them flicking their ears around quite a bit. But we're back live now at Tembe Elephant Park. There's still a couple of impalas that look quite pregnant. Wouldn't that be amazing to get a live birth? I'm sure Trishala has said this before. But that would be a goal. Okay. I think we're going to have a break from the impala. As much as I love them, I know they're not going to go anywhere. But let's head over to Mabula now and have a look at a lapwing nest. That's not the name that they make. Okay, perfect timing. Thank you, Blacksmith Lapwing, for getting up and leaving your nest so we can see the eggs. 3 of them, by the looks of it. And that is just so much camouflage. I mean, as you can see, a very basic nest, not even really a nest, it's a scrape in the ground. Sometimes they don't even make the scrape themselves, they'll just use a depression of an animal footprint. And I saw that not too long ago at Kasiri Dam, so just outside Hoedspruit where I live. Uh, the last time, okay, I was there on Monday. How nice for my dog. Went to Kasiri Dam for 2 hours on a Monday afternoon. What a life. But anyways, before that, there's buffalo that also move around that area, and obviously it was quite wet, and there's buffalo tracks in the ground, and the blacksmith lapwings there also laid 3 eggs in a buffalo hoof print in the mud. So what I did though, when the adults moved off the nest, I went and quickly grabbed rocks and I just made a semicircle around it just so people don't go and step on it because it's in an area where they move around. And I was there yesterday and they're gone. So I did see some blacksmith lapwings not too far away with youngsters. So if it was them, I'm not sure, but they'd have quite a high success rate of raising the youngsters. Well, at least the ones at Klaseri Dam. Here, I think it's quite close to a water hole, which can be tricky when there's a lot of action and traction. Yay, camera, come back. There we go. So it's going to be a great thing to follow. Oh, lovely big dragonfly. Nice, off it goes. And then going back to the floppy ears, I see Bowl of Kittens has mentioned that there's Marty, the floppy-eared zebra at Lentore. Aha! I need to keep an eye out for Marty. I don't think I've met him yet. We're going to find focus now. Sometimes these cameras can be a little bit tricky. I think if I were controlling the cameras, it would just be out of focus all the time. I'm just trying to see if I could see anything else around them. I mean, they just really look like little rocks. And I also have no idea how long they've been here for, because that would give us a better indication of how many days we have to wait. But if you have been watching and following, I'm looking forward to hearing from you. So let me know. I see Kirsty's typing now, so maybe I'm going to get that information shortly. The incubation period for a lot of birds is anywhere from 20 to just over 30 days. I'd call it a month on average. It wouldn't be great if we get the hatching happening live again. We've got so many things we have to look forward to. You can hear the adults in the background shouting away. Quite often they'll get up and move away from the nest if there's animals nearby. They don't want to draw too much attention to themselves while they're in that seated position. What could you possibly be yelling about? I've got a black-collared barbet calling faintly in the distance. Good birding this year, I'll tell you that. Sounds like one of the blacksmith lapwings flew over the top of the camera, so hopefully it will come back this side. Come on, focus. It just doesn't want to let us focus any closer. Sorry, everybody. The camera seems to be a bit stuck. We're going to try and look for the little grebe nest, which is another bird, and it's something that I've been wanting to see, a floating nest, an aquatic nest. But I think the camera is stuck in this position for now, so we'll try again a little bit later. Maybe we can head somewhere else until we can get this camera sorted. There we go. Look at that yellow-billed stork. Now I'm going to take a stab at it. Oh, we're back at Tembi. Okay, great. This is nice. Lots of different birds around, and the pools of water that fill up in this area really do make for great birding opportunities. I've been seeing quite a few of the yellow-billed storks around at the moment, catching all sorts of things. And then it looks like there's a pair of grey herons just to the left, all fluffed up. And they're all doing a bit of maintenance. Okay, it seems like we also have a problem there, but we're fine, because now we're at Hyena Pan, and look at how green the mapani trees are. Also, there's an elephant in case you didn't notice it. This is unbelievable. I mean, the last time that I hosted the show on the Tuesday, oh, what's going on there? Baboons, you leave that blacksmith lapwing alone. All sorts of drama. Of course, we cut straight to the action. In case you're wondering, what's going on? Why are there so many cages? In moments like this, you can't wait. Now, this is going to be detrimental for nesting blacksmith lapwings. Baboons are predators to so many different animals. Don't you grab one of those birds. They're brave doing that. But baboons, goodness gracious, I mean, we know that they go after Impala lambs at this time of the year. I mean, I've seen them eating dacre. I've watched one baboon grab a dove right in front of it and eat that too. And baboons, of course, are masters at finding nests. I mean, they'll decimate ostrich nests. They'll, of course, pluck a handful of blacksmith lapwing eggs. I mean, they even will dig open crocodile nests. So not good. This is where you hope that the blacksmith lapwings have chosen well and have distracted the baboons enough that they don't go looking for those eggs. Quite brave though. Imagine being grabbed out of the sky. That'll be quite a shock. Those birds better watch themselves. Little baboon though is not having any of it. I think it'll be terrified if one of those birds try to mob it. Getting so close, and those baboons have got their bottoms exposed. That wouldn't be fun. And this baboon in front of us actually looks pregnant too, coming towards the camera. Very, very much so. Bursting at the seams. Gosh, baby galore. No, girl, you're going to have a little one soon. That's exciting. I haven't seen lots of little baboons and vervet monkeys around. It's so precious. This is one of the best times to come on safari. Obviously, not always great for game viewing because there's so much water around, but just in terms of seeing new life, even the greenery, and then, of course, all the youngsters that come with it. It's great. That's just fabulous. Well, what these lapwings are doing is quite energy exhausting. So they're consuming so much energy by doing this, by mobbing. But they've got to weigh it out. You know, do we pester the baboons enough that they just move away? But I mean, that baboon that was staying in the area right up until the end, that one was barely doing anything. I mean, it was had its back towards the lapwings, flapping at it. But now some of the big male baboons have come in. They might be more cautious of them. But they're also tenacious birds. They just do whatever they want. It's like they show no fear. They'll do anything to protect the nest. How's that little high five that they do? This male baboon is not as coordinated as the previous female. She's doing a much better job at almost grabbing the lapwing. This is so cool. I love this. All the birds getting out of the way of the baboons. You just never know with them. I feel like you can't trust them because they'll just grab and eat anything. But as baboons do, they also need to come and have a drink of water, especially on a hot day like this, at least once a day. But if there's water, if they're roosting in a place where the big trees is close to a water hole, they might even drink twice a day. And off they go again. Not really wasting too much time around the water's edge. They're also vulnerable. I suppose that's a good tactic. If you're a predator, it makes sense to hang around, but otherwise you get your drink and you move on. And now the blacksmith lapwings have settled down. They're happy that the baboons have moved far enough away from their nest. And now they might go back to incubating again. Let's see. You're safe, eggs. You lived another day. That's wonderful. You can see all three still there, safe and sound. I bet you're all going, phew, that was a close one. I don't think the baboons had any idea where that nest actually was. So thankfully, blacksmith lapwings are quite consistent with their aggressive behavior, whether they're nesting or not. Yawning Gap, you said that you call lapwings the dancing birds. So much personality, guts, and grace. I love that. I love that. Guts and grace. That and the water thickneys. Goodness, they've also, I think I've seen more water thickneys standing up to bigger animals. I've told numerous stories about those sightings. Yeah, but oh, the lapwings are coming back. Get them. Chase them. I'm not going to. It was dramatic. You didn't need to drop and roll, Baboon. Did you notice how they are going for their rear end? That's very smart. Very smart thing to do. Because last thing you want to do is get in front of them where you could be swatted out of the air and then had your head bitten off. Because that's what they do. They're crazy baboons, but I love them. Amazing animals. Okay, we're back at Hyena Pan now. Sorry, elephants, for leaving you. And we've got another floppy friend, in this time in the form of an elephant. And again, it's just beautiful. Look at these pans. Look at the reflection off of the water. It's just absolutely gorgeous. But as you know, all know, the elephants prefer to drink from this fresh water. And that is a tiny baby. Hello, little one. Oh, that's so small. Look at your long legs, though. You can see its trunk hasn't even stretched all the way down to the ground, so it's definitely less than a year old. And these elephants are actually looking a bit on the slim side, don't you think? But it's been such a harsh winter in Kwai Private Reserve, so naturally it's going to take them a little bit of time to put on weight again. I'm just looking at how much of their spine is sticking out, looking at their shoulders, essentially. Look at how those bones are protruding so much. Now, we see floppy ears with elephants quite often, and it's normally related to damage of the cartilage, with elephants using their ears to perform many different tasks. They can get damaged quite easily. And this cow that's drinking also has interesting tusks. Look at her right tusk that completely curves over her trunk. She even did a little maneuver so that when she lifts her trunk up straight, it doesn't get caught. Let's see if she does it again. Can you see that? She brings it out to the left and over. Clever girl. It's just lovely, of course, to spend some time with elephants. A small group, but there might be more coming. I'd love to know exactly how old that little elephant is, but it doesn't seem to be wobbly on its feet. It's walking with ease. Obviously, you can fit right underneath mom's tummy still, but you can't really see how coarse the hair is on this little one. When they're younger, they're a lot hairier. And I cannot see if the umbilical cord is still attached or not. Got big shoes, that small elephant, though. Look how it has to lift its feet up to walk. Have you ever done that when you put on a pair of shoes that are too big for you? You always have to walk quite awkwardly. And into the Mapani belt they go. Some elephants just like it in there. I don't think I'd be a Mapani elephant. I'd definitely be a river elephant. Spending my whole day in the water, just grazing on the sides of the banks, on the islands. That's where you'd find me. Probably holding a black heron up by its legs. If you don't know what a black heron is, then it's not going to be quite funny, but I'll describe the bird to you anyways. It's the daytime. Brings its wings around its head, casts a shadow over the water, makes it easier to see the fish, but then also the fish come to the shade. Very clever technique. You need to be the world's biggest black heron, though, to use as an umbrella for an elephant. Maybe I'd make a good elephant. I mean, I think that's quite nifty. Has anyone ever thought of that? Probably not. Strange things go on in my head. If anybody is an artist that is watching, that would be a great image to produce. We're just doing a quick scan to see if there's anything else coming out of the Mapani belt. Carl, you've said, do elephants' ears do more than just keep them cool? What else do they do? Well, they can hear with them. That's a big function, of course. But no, the main purpose of having such large ears like that is absolutely to cool themselves down. We always talk about the ears and we describe them like a radiator of a car, right? A constant movement. It generates cool air that cools down the bloodstream, and then that circulates all the way through their body, comes back to their brain, and then they're nice and cool. That would be a pointless exercise for me. But I'm trying to think, what else would they use their ears for? To host ticks, I suppose, is another one. No, I'm being outrageous now. Please excuse me. Those are two Egyptian geese. Sure, they're also going to start shouting now, seeing as though there's a pair that are, again, just so vocal. It's like sometimes you don't need to be so loud. Wait, fly off, catch them. Right now they're all having a Barney. I don't know what a Barney is. It's like a fight. A lot of people ask me what's a sound that I don't like, and I don't mind many sounds, but I think Egyptian geese with that constant, they're so loud all the time. When you get those areas where they've just overtaken and there's not just one or two pairs, there's like 10 different pairs, then I want to lose my marbles a little bit. Otherwise, I don't really mind the sounds. Oh, and trumpeter hornbills at like 4 o'clock in the morning are not my favorite either. It's nice having fig trees and jackalberries and those types of things, but when they're fruit, ugh, the birds that come with it. And it's great, but if you don't like waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning, you probably won't enjoy having fruit trees in your garden, that's for sure. Does anybody else feel the need to want to swim in this water? I mean, I think it would be hot and really uncomfortable and not pleasant to swim in at all, but it just looks so beautiful. Surely I can't be the only one now. Just listening if there are any other birds calling other than a ring-necked dove. I think I hear the odd kingfisher, but I could be making that up as well. Pull my volume up a bit more. Lots of blacksmith lapwings. You can see there's lots of little birds fluttering around, but they don't sit still for long enough to be able to identify them. Doing another big old scan. Here are the starlings. Zygote, you said you can hear a raptor calling. I can't hear it. Now I'm bringing my computer to my ear. Hello? Yeah, my hearing is going now. So normally with raptors, they've got quite high-pitched calls. Almost like not quite a whistle, but I'll listen out for it again. Zygote. I probably won't be able to tell you what it is because I just think they all sound the same. No, they don't. I've just been lazy and I haven't been bothered to learn most raptor calls. I'm not even going to lie about it. Yes, come around, elephants. Is it the same 4 as earlier, or is it a couple more? Oh no, it looks like a few more. Nope. Okay, no, it is. Just had to double check. Maybe they picked up another one along the way. Picking up stragglers. Okay. moving with quite a pace. Where are you off to? Yawning Gap, you've said it looks inviting. This is the water, of course, and that you would go for a swim. Thank you. We could go together. Maybe I wouldn't swim. Maybe I'd like to stand up paddle. That would be good. I'd have to practice, though, otherwise I'd end up swimming unintentionally. But that might be quite a nice way to see that water hole. Looks like there were also a couple of sand grass where the elephants were moving along. Why are they going so fast? Shoo! Or are they guinea fowl? I can't see what they are anyway. They'll just be birds. Oh my gosh, look, a slender mongoose. Quickly, quickly. Stay there, slender mongoose. Come and drink. This is awesome. I have no idea where we are. Are we at like Rosie's Pan? Or Katmai Pan? I feel like it's one of those. I'm going to hear now. Rosie's Pan. Yay! I got it right the first time. That's amazing. Sorry, but the small joys in life for me. But this is very special. I mean, mongoose drinking water is not something that we get to see all the time. I have seen dwarf mongoose, banded mongoose drinking water, but never a slender mongoose. In this area, it's in the low-veld Greater Kruger region. It's the shyest of the diurnal species, the daytime species of mongoose. You can see just going back for cover once again, and then quickly coming back out to have another drink. They're a lot bigger than what you think as well. Oh, but scratchy. Just constantly looking around, making sure there's nothing. Raptor, birds of prey, love to sit up on the tops of the trees around waterholes. It's actually crazy how it happens. And you just see them drop down at an alarming rate and grab prey. Often see that happening with birds, with smaller birds. Are we finished drinking? Nope. It's so good. Got to keep going back for more. Look, it's lying down now, just having a rest, giving its little legs a break. It also looks like it's quite full. No shortage of food now. There are snakes and frogs and lizards and skinks and insects everywhere, and they eat everything. Eggs and bird chicks and mice and rats. I feel like there's nothing that's on their menu, except I've never seen them scavenging before off of a carcass, but wouldn't surprise me. Going to having another look around. Gosh, it's been a long time since I've visited Rosie's Pan. But it doesn't seem like much. The other thing that we can start looking for the different cameras, but for those who participate and are zoomies outside of the show time, start checking the marula trees. I mean, any tree really, but in the Greater Kruger area, because there's so many southern tree agamas out and about. And I know that sounds like an almost impossible challenge, but you'd be surprised. The longer you stare at the bark, the more you see. Or your mind plays tricks on you, and then you start to see things that aren't actually there. So hopefully it's the first option. April Owl, you said that you would love to swim in a pond. So back at Hyena Pan, if there were no parasites or crocodiles, probably loads of parasites. What's that brown thing? Come up. Reveal yourself. Oh, it's a whole hippopotamus. That's hidden away quite nicely. So there we go, April Owl. The hippos can also hide in a small pool of water. But yes, crocodiles, I never trust any water to be crocodiles absolutely anywhere. And that's why when I take my dog swimming, I also go in the water. It has to be clear water though, otherwise it's an absolute no-no. And yes, if you're thinking, Taylor, what would you do if a crocodile came out? I would wrestle it. 100%. I have a younger brother that I practice wrestling on many times, put in the old chokehold. But only, again, I never want to harm an animal. But if it's my dog, I'm going after the croc. I can't believe this water. I didn't think it was this deep. Now, of course, the hippo's not standing up. Its legs are actually tucked underneath its belly. But they're still large animals. Oh gosh, what are those? Look like martins or swallows. Or no, I lied. Those were oxpeckers that flew past the camera. I got excited when I saw the drab brown colors, and then I went, no, tail was wrong. Oxpecker. I also don't think this is a great spot for a hippopotamus. No shade, just out in the open. And from this angle, it looks like a pygmy hippopotamus. It doesn't look like it's very big at all. Can you imagine doing a bushwalk and just walking around, standing there, talking to your guests, and then 5 minutes in, a hippo pops up? Terrifying. You hear that? Sounds like European bee eaters, which there are plenty of at the moment. Still looking to see my first European roller. Have not seen one yet. Has anyone seen a European roller on any of the Africam cameras? Let me know. I'm sure you've all seen a woodland kingfisher by now, and maybe some of the cuckoo species. Like I said earlier, it's been an absolutely great year for birding. It's like some one of those crested franklins coming down to drink. They're either crested franklins or the tell spur fowls, but from this distance, I cannot tell. No, they're not. They're doves. Oh, goodness gracious. I thought that they looked a lot bigger. Okay. And look at the way that they've got their heads up, too. Maybe it's interesting the way that they're walking like that. Very excited. Anyways, okay. Let's go back to Tembe and spend a little bit of time with our floppy-eared impala. See, they're all spread out now. You can start to see some of the Inyala also intermixed with the impala. Everyone grazing. Although, I mean, even though there's lots of water, the grass is drying out quite quickly. And the East Coast tends to have a lot more rain than what we do. But I have not been following the weather, and I have no idea what's been going on the northeastern sections of South Africa. Also a great opportunity to see the size difference between an Inyala and an Impala. Significantly larger. Also just so much more heavy set. Oh gosh, look at this. We've got Impala, Inyala, yellow-billed stork, and grey heron all in one. Grey heron's quenching its thirst, having a drink. Yellow-billed stork's gone to sleep. And even as that heron stands there, you can see it's focusing on something. There might be tadpoles or frogs coming to the edge of that rock. Or even, oh, sorry, I get distracted. Did you see that little lamb bounding about? Hello, yes, test those legs out. Zoom, back the other way again. They're so fast. I think I would do that. I'd run around and jump as high as I could if I realized how bouncy I was. Look at it. Don't run too much, though. Settle. I'm trying to rally up some of the other youngsters to run around with it, because who likes to run around by themselves? It's never fun. And it's gone. Oh, no, never mind. It's back again. Racing Impala. Mom's really just standing there. You're going to regret that when the lions pop out, or a leopard. But they've got to learn. Hard to control their excitement. Luckily that there is a lot of vegetation, and for mom to eat so they can drink milk regularly and not worry about being too tired. There you go. There's our floppy-eared Impala following that female. Maybe this female's like, right, you can all go home to your respective mothers. Daycare is officially closed. Yeah. That one on the left also has got a floppy ear. Is it? No. Make your ears straight, Impala on the left. Not as bad, but they do look like they're a little bit floppy. That's interesting. I wonder if it's something in the genetics in this area. I saw there were a couple of comments about how they've seen a few different animal species around Tembe with floppy ears. I mean, it could be a whole bunch of things. Maybe it's a nutrient deficiency, but I have no idea. I'm going to lean on Tris Visop here as they're a vet. But I just thought, for insects, that's so young and that happens so quickly. But there are lots of biting flies around. And there we go. Oh, last couple of minutes to catch an Impala lamb suckling for mom. You see, this is what she's trying to avoid all the time. Is a constant ramming of her teats. Can't be nice. But anyways, thank you everybody for joining me on another Africam show. It's been wonderful as always. Hopefully next time the animals will come out and play. But for those of you celebrating Thanksgiving on Thursday, I hope you have a wonderful time. And for the rest of the world, we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.